Hey, How 315. My name is Alyssa Glenn, and I am currently interning at Towson's Alcohol, Tobacco, and Other Drug Prevention Center. My hours at the ATOD Prevention Center are from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. However, the center is open until 5 p.m. And we do have afternoon events, but they usually end between 5 and 7 p.m. It's also important to note that this internship offers flexible hours, so interns can easily have another job on the side and you can cater your schedule to that other job. Also, interns are able to use flex time, so if you ever do go to afternoon events or work later than usual, you can use those extra hours to come in late some days or take a day off if you want. And afternoon events, if you are able to go to them, it's encouraged, but event attendance is not required. When selecting my site for my internship, my personal requirements were to work in the mental health field, have flexible hours and a short commute, and hold a position in health education and promotion. My personal goals were to grow in the mental health field, gain experience with planning, implementing, and evaluating events programs, and also be able to use my own creativity and my own ideas. When selecting a site for your internship, it's important to think about your goals for your internship experience. So think about, are there any areas you would like to explore? Which positions are you most interested in, like a health educator, an administration position, an outreach position? It's also important to consider your personal requirements. Is there a certain field that you're interested in? Personally, I really wanted to be in the mental health field, but it could be sexual help for some of you or nutrition. There's many avenues that you can go down. Also, it's important to consider your commute. So do you require somewhere closer to your home? Are you able to have a longer commute if you have a car? Do you need to use the bus, the metro? So location is also important to consider. And finally, it's important to identify what you want to take away from your internship. So think about which skills that you would like to improve. This could be from presenting to implementing, planning, evaluating, improving your communication skills, social media outreach, and many other skills. So my intern project was called Fight the Urge, and the purpose of the event was to teach students distress tolerance skills to fight the urge of engaging in unhelpful coping mechanisms. Over to the right, you can see the flyer that I made for my event on Canva Pro. As I was brainstorming ideas for my intern project, I decided to start with what outcome and impact on students I would really like to have. So I decided that my goal was to teach students useful skills to apply in their life during times of distress. My planning focused on DBT distress tolerance skills, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, which is just a different type of therapy than we all think of, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. I created substance use scenarios in smoking cessation trivia, and I also designed the distress tolerance skills booklet, the flyer, event passport, and tabling papers and cards on Canva Pro. I also reached out, planned, and led a meeting with campus collaborators who I decided to partner with the Health Center and Healthy and Diverse Minds, which is located within the Counseling Center. I decided that the Health Center was going to focus on smoking cessation and urges. The Healthy and Diverse Minds table was going to focus on mental health and urges, and the ATOD table was going to focus on substance use and urges, with all intertwining the distress tolerance skills that I wanted to teach the students. When implementing my event, I decided that I'd like to have 6 tables, the first being the welcome check-in table, where students were able to receive their event passports and skills booklet. The next table was the A2D Center table, where I taught students distress tolerance skills via scenarios to fight the urge of engaging in substance use. The next table was the Health Center's table, where they conducted smoking cessation trivia, offered their smoking cessation services, and taught students distress tolerance skills to fight the urge of engaging in smoking. The fourth table was the Healthy and Diverse Minds table, where students were able to create their own glitter jars and learn distress tolerance skills such as self-soothing and distraction. The fifth table was the evaluation table, where students were able to record their responses about the event and how they felt about it, and also to turn in their passports showing that they went to all 3 tables in order to get their incentives. And finally, we had the incentives tables. So all the students that completed their passports were able to take their stress balls, enter into the basket raffle, and enjoy their hot cocoa. When evaluating my event, I realized that 32 people came, and 7 people said that they found a new resource, 8 people said that they plan to use the skills that they've learned, and 16 people said that they learned facts about substance use, trends, and harm reduction. The incentives that were included in my event were the distress tolerance stress balls, glitter jars, the glitter jars that the students made, hand sanitizer, some pens, hand sanitizer, pins, and phone card holders. I also had a raffle basket, which included the basket itself, a blanket, a candle, a skills booklet, a candle, a wellness journal, a fanny pack filled with a stress ball, and a wellness t-shirt. And I also had hot cocoa for students to have in November, because I did have it in November, and it's more chilly. So here are just some of the project graphics that I made on Canva Pro. The first one is the event passport that students had to complete, and the next one is the first page of the distress tolerance skills book that I made. Here are just some of my event photos. The first photo is of me at the ATOD center table where I did the scenarios with students doing the smoking cessation trivia. The second picture is of the health center table where they conducted the smoking cessation trivia and offered their services. And the third picture is of the evaluation Healthy and Diverse Minds table, students were able to get their stress balls, enter the basket raffle as long as they filled out their event passport, and they were able to record their responses. There's a picture of the evaluation table where students. Here are just some photos of the event on a whiteboard at the ATOD center table. What I really liked about this internship was that it wasn't the mental health field. It had flexible hours and a short commute, and it did focus on planning, implementing, and evaluating events. Also, the events were super fun. It was really incredible to have a supportive supervisor and also graduate assistant and my co-intern Naya. I really also liked teaching students useful information at the events, watching them have their aha moments was super encouraging to me, and that I was able to actually impact students' lives with information. And finally, I really loved my ability to use my creativity via Canva Pro, designing flyers, the things that I did not passports, and everything else that I was able to. At first, I didn't realize that what I didn't like about this internship was at first I didn't realize that I thought that I was interning for the counseling center, but that's just because I was under the impression that it was going to be the counseling center, but that's just because got over the ATOD center lives within the counseling center. Is a major component. However, I got over this very quickly because, and for the rest of the internship, there was literally nothing that I didn't like. The rest of the internship really enjoyed this. Really awesome. There was literally a breath of fresh air and just an incredible experience. I really enjoyed this internship. It was a breath of fresh air. What I really liked about this internship was that it wasn't the mental. The things I learned before going into my internship that I didn't necessarily think was going to be important or useful was a lot of the information from the past 2 semesters, just because the courses of the last 2 semesters were really jam-packed with information, and I obviously knew that it was useful, but I didn't realize how useful all the information was going to be, because I was easily able to relate a lot of the things that I was doing at work to my coursework in those 2 semesters. And it was really awesome and encouraging that I was able to do that and learned that much. It also was really important learning to work with opposing personalities and also collaborating with other organizations and centers. I also didn't realize just how important incentives were. The ATOD Center has a closet chock full of incentives, and for each specific event, we still buy more incentives for them. What I wish I learned before entering my internship was actually hosting and leading meetings with other organizations, and also just using online calendars and sending calendar invites and other things that has to do with organizing events online. I also wish I learned just more promotional skills because a major part of my internship was also social media outreach. It's really important before entering your internship to remember to be confident in the work that you do. You really have learned a lot in these classes leading up to your internship, and you will know a lot more than you realize, which is exactly what happened to me. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your supervisor and your coworkers understand that this is your very first time in the field and will be there for you to lean on. It's also important to advocate for yourself. Don't hesitate to speak with your supervisor about your needs, requirements, and your feelings about the internship. And most importantly, believe in yourself. You are all more than capable of handling an internship next semester, no matter how anxious you are. Keep reminding yourself of your strengths and lean into those. Thank you all for listening to my presentation, and if you'd like to hear more information, don't be afraid to reach out to me. My email is aglen8@students.towson.edu. I hope you all have a great day and good luck with your internships.